We don't march and protest because we like to march and protest. All we want to do is be free.
Shaun King.
From New York. What up, man? Shaun King.
Good morning, everybody. As you know, the Golden Globe nominations were announced yesterday, and they were extremely disappointing. At virtually every turn, Black excellence was shut out from almost every single category. And despite this year having more films and TV shows directed by women than any year in film and television history, women were completely shut out of almost every single category as well. And listen, I'm not saying that Black folk or women need to be graded on the curve. That's ridiculous. Some of the best films and TV shows of the year starred Black folk and were directed by women, period. Here in a second, I want to explain why it matters to get these nominations and to get these awards. Because when we often get snubbed like this from award shows, I hear us say things like, why do we care about other people's validation and that we should only care about our own award shows and more? I'm going to address that in just a second. But first, I want to give you my top 5 snubs from the Golden Globes yesterday. Number 5 would be Zendaya in the HBO smash hit Euphoria. The show is literally one of the most critically acclaimed TV shows of the year. And Zendaya is a runaway star in this show. And it's a brutally honest portrayal of modern teenage life. It's a great show and just really showed what she is made of. I thought for sure she was going to be nominated. Number 4 would be Lupita Nyong'o in the movie Us. She was amazing and terrifying in Us. It was gross, and she was also kind and sweet. She played 2 radically different versions of one deeply tormented character. And after watching the movie, now that it's been several months since I've seen it, my one big takeaway was just how brilliant she was from start to finish. Number 3 for me is Regina King in HBO's amazing new show, Watchmen. First off, I'm hooked on Watchmen. I literally think
too.
it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's an amazing show that confronts white supremacy head on. I thought it deserved 10 different nominations. It didn't get one single nomination. Again, it's a breakout hit with a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And Regina King is absolutely spectacular in every episode. Now, when I first saw that it didn't get any nominations, my thought was that, it must not have been available for award shows this year since it just came out. But no, it was available. It just didn't get any nominations. I have no explanation for that. Number 2 for me would be the entire cast of When They See Us. That not one single cast member was nominated is preposterous. We're not even talking about winning the award yet, but just that no single cast member was nominated is just absurd. And that Jarrell Jerome, who won the Emmy for his role in the series, didn't get nominated really is evidence of just how ridiculous the nominations were. Number 1 for me would still be Ava DuVernay. She should have been nominated for directing When They See Us. It was her baby. Whatever it was, she made it into that. And it's going to go down in history as one of the most important television series of all time. It was that important, and it was good and was powerful because it was directed under her watchful eye. But Ava not receiving a Best Director nomination was really indicative of how women were literally shut out of every single Best Director nomination slot, from film to TV to miniseries, you name it. Not a single woman was nominated in any of those categories. And here's the thing, when that happens, and it happens, some version of this happens to us almost every single year, and we always say something like, why do we even care if they honor us? Or we should just care about our own award shows instead of seeking white validation. And here's the thing, I fundamentally agree with that logic and those conclusions. But here's why I have a problem with us getting snubbed by these award shows year after year. These nominations and these awards, be it the Golden Globes, the Oscars, or the Emmys, they are like passports in the industry. Getting these nominations allow actors and actresses and directors and producers, it allows them to negotiate bigger and better salaries, bigger and better budgets. Getting these honors allow them to get better roles and better scripts. In the industry that they live and work in daily, having these nominations and awards, it follows you for your entire life. So as much as we want to say, hey, it doesn't matter, we'll do our own awards, and I agree with that. In the industry, these awards and honors make a difference. And as long as the Golden Globes are going to claim to be an award show for everybody, they need to make sure they honor a true representation of all the people from every race, background, gender, and orientation. And the Golden Globes just didn't do that this year. Listen, I've got to run. I now only have one more show left on Thursday.
Oh.
But today I just want to take a quick moment to thank our listeners. I love our listeners so very much. I know the entire cast and crew does as well. I swear we have the best audience of any show in the country. Sure. You all support every single thing I do. You come out to hear me speak no matter where I am in the country. You come up and introduce yourself and tell me how much you support me and love the show. I just want our audience to know I'm going to keep on fighting for justice each and every single day. I just want to thank you all for your support. And, of course, thank you to Tom Sybil and the crew. Love you all and see you on Thursday.
All right, man.
Hey, Shaun, just in terms of the Golden Globes, do you think that is just reflective of what they've always said about black entertainers and black films and TV shows not doing as well in Europe and countries outside of the United States?
Absolutely. People don't know
because this
much
is the foreign
about
press,
the
right?
Yes, the Hollywood foreign press, yeah.
And these shows often they have no exposure to many of these shows. And it's not just they don't have any exposure to it. I just thought, do they even understand the power of when they see us?
No.
Does that even resonate with them? Watchmen, every episode of Watchmen is an emotional experience for me. And they're talking about the impact of white supremacy and the Tulsa race riots. And I just wonder, is this even resonating with them on an emotional level?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
and it's
not.
well, obviously not. And that's a lot of it. I think you're right, Sybil, for sure.
It's just very disappointing in terms of that, but the Golden Globes have always been suspect. I mean, they've always had a cloud over them, and Sherry and Kim, you can speak to that too in terms of, being in the industry and how people are nominated. And, at one point they gave an award to Pia Zadora many, many years ago. And it broke down to, her husband at the time, giving, bribing them in order to get her nominated. And so there've always been these questions about them, but it's just now it's more so than ever. And I'm not taking anything away from Eddie Murphy. I think he did a great job in Dolomite Is My Name. I just think that there's just so much, as you indicated, so much that came out this year that's just so good.
It's unbelievable.
Particularly with black women. If you notice, all 5 of my snubs were black women.
Yeah.
It's yikes. Yeah, it's a mess.
I know sitting at the Emmys, I was so infuriated.
Right.
Because Ava DuVernay, only one person won. From 19 nominations.
That was Sherelle
She
Jerome,
threw that in there as I was sitting at the Emmys. You didn't have to say that part.
Well, it lends
I celebrate
credence.
that she was sitting at the Emmys.
It lends credence to the fact that
Shaun.
I was there.
We love
you,
you, Shaun.
Shaun.
Thank you.
Love y'all.